Today is March the 28th, and it's 2023, and it's about 10, 12 minutes after 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name is Jonathan Jones. It's my pleasure, my privilege to be your host and moderator for the evening. And you've been invited here because someone cared enough about you to tell you about a program like this that we do every week. I have this program on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock, Thursday nights at 6 o'clock, and Sundays at 5 o'clock. So 7-6-5, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. So those are the days of my schedule. Now, the company sends out information about the Sunday program each week, usually each week. You know, like this week, I don't think they sent out any, they're not going to send anything out this week because I don't have Dr. Prasad coming on this week, and I didn't ask them to headline any particular topic. But we will have a presentation this coming Sunday at 5 p.m. So we'll have a meeting. The very next weekend, we'll be talking about it, well, every Sunday, 5 o'clock. So you'll see that will come out on the Engage Global calendar. So Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, 7 p.m., 6 p.m., 5 p.m. So that's the easiest way to remember the schedule if you would like to attend my meetings. The company has many other meetings. Your legacy sponsor has other meetings as well. If you're not in my downline, then you can also feel free to take advantage of any of those other meetings that you see that you're aware of, and we encourage you to do so. The information that I present is for educational purposes only. It's for information, educational purposes only, and entertainment. I'm not a doctor, don't claim to be one. Please don't do anything I say because I say it. Strongly encourage you to do your own research. And I strongly encourage you to seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust. When you hear testimonials are purely anecdotal. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. But we're sharing with you what people themselves express. None of these stories that you're going to hear, they're not paid. No one was solicited to, and none of these stories were requested. These are individuals who simply volunteered their stories and shared it. So one of the ones that we heard this past Sunday, that Dr. Prasad, he may have heard this one, but I don't think he remembered it. So we're going to play a part of it again tonight. And because I think it just kind of helps to
opportunity to share my testimony.
Kind of helps to
on this day.
Set the stage, for us.
All right. And
so hang on one second. All right. And let me just get this lined up. And we're going to listen to Leland's story real quick, because this was the one that that laid the foundation for our discussion with Dr. Prasad this past Sunday. Okay.
We will get it playing. Here we go with Leland.
Thanks for the opportunity to share my testimony, especially on this day. Oh, it's been over 7 years when Patrice and Bruce and Jeff and Helen introduced me to Microdaily and Engage Global. I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and I didn't know what to do. Like most guys, were confused. So, of course, I went to the VA doctors, and they recommended taking body parts out or radiation or both. And I said negative, which means no in the military. Not going to happen. So I told them I'm taking micronutrients, and they said vitamins. Oh, that won't work. It's going to spread to your surrounding organs. I said, I don't believe that. Negative. I know what I'm taking. So I started taking a therapeutic dose, a heavy dose of Microdaily, without any side effects. And I felt good. I had my liver tested at VA for toxicity because of the amount of Microdaily I was taking. And the test came back negative, 0 toxicity. So I, about 3 years later, still feeling good. But I said, let's go in there and get it checked out, So they told me it was going to spread. So we did a PET scan. And the PET scan came back negative. They couldn't see any cancer. So I continued exercising, eating right, and taking my micronutrients. And now it's been 8 years, I guess 9 years. Feel great. I'm 65 now, and I feel like I'm about 45. So this cancer thing has really become a non-issue. Although I monitor it, take my micronutrients, it's really a non-issue. So we're blessed to have such a great product. Along the way, I also contracted COVID, and I caught a bad strain of it. Put me in a hospital, but I never got on a respirator. Never needed a respirator. So I avoided the cytokine inflammation storm. And that's what microdaily does. It prevents your body from going into this all-out inflammation or cytokine storm. And then you start shutting down, you go on a respirator, and most people die. So I never got to that point. I felt relatively good, and eventually got out of the hospital. And today I have no long-term COVID, zero. A side note is that the virus did cause heart valve damage. The scans showed that, and I could feel the pain in my heart. But through exercise and taking microdaily, it healed 100%. My heart valve healed 100%. And the doctor scanned it. And so I have the proof. And plus I can tell, and I feel great. And so it's been a blessing again. Two deadly encounters, and both are non-issues. So at 65, today I feel like I'm about 45. I help a construction contractor out who's short-handed, and I'm able to do the work at my age. And they're amazed by that. And I'm amazed too by what microdaily does to give you energy and proper sleep and so forth and so on. I've been able to help a couple of family members. And one is my brother-in-law, Dale, who was diagnosed with kidney cancer fairly recently. And he was pretty much incapacitated physically, in a lot of pain. So we put him on microdaily therapeutic dose, microdaily EMF. And a couple of weeks later, he said the pain was cut in half. He could start functioning again, moving around. And then a month later, he's out fishing again. He's out fishing, feeling great, lots of energy. Probably still has some cancer. I might still have some cancer, maybe, but I feel great with no symptoms. And Dale is feeling great too in a short period of time. My sister also had small cell lung cancer, and we put her on the product while she went through the chemo, and she was able to go through that ordeal without getting really sick. And she maintained her energy level and her appetite. And she came out good with that, thanks to microdaily. The doctors were amazed by her health, given all the toxicity from the chemo, and she did so well. And the scans showed that she had no cancer back then. So that's my testimony and my two family members. I hope that inspires people on this call.
How many capsules?
So that's Leland's story, folks. That's Leland, a veteran. He was telling that story on Veterans Day. Apparently, that's what I was told anyway. And it was on the Engage Global corporate call when Jeff Ashby shared that story. So Leland said a number of things there. He said he talked all about cancer, prostate cancer, and other things, and how that was under control. And the doctors told him that there was no way any vitamin was going to help him. So his cancer was going to spread all over the place. But that wasn't the purpose of that particular recording. The point of that recording was when he said he got a bad strain of COVID. So that was the main thing. He got a bad strain of COVID, and he believes that because he took microdaily, it stopped his body from succumbing to cytokine storm. Are you familiar with what cytokine storm is? Scientists believe that if you go back in time to the Spanish influenza, that was prior to COVID-19 probably, it may, from a historical point of view, may have been the worst plague to ever hit the planet, was the Spanish influenza. And they believe that the main reason why people died was because their immune system overreacted. When there's something in the lungs, a bacteria or virus or some pathogen that's not supposed to be there, the body is designed to give off these cytokines. Cytokines is an alarm signal that tells the immune system, hey, buddy, get over here. I need some help. And so what happens is the immune system now starts firing off all these antibodies, sending antibodies into the area. So imagine we just had a terrible incident that happened in Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, I think it was, right, where a crazy woman, man, whatever, went into a building and just started shooting people with an AK-47. So imagine the alarm goes off, right? So the alarm goes off. The authorities are alerted. Then policemen come, and then they take care of the situation, but no one turns the alarm off. More policemen come, and they're still trying to solve the problem. And not only policemen, the mayor and the governor call out the National Guard. So now the National Guard is coming, and they're surrounding the school. So you got all these soldiers with these weapons, and then that's not enough. Eventually it gets to the federal level, and the government sends in the Army and the Marines. Then the Air Force comes in, and they start bringing in ships, battleships, and the Navy comes. That cytokine storm in the body is similar to that. The immune system is sending an overwhelming amount of soldiers to try to resolve the problem. And in doing so, the immune system becomes part of the problem. That's called cytokine storm. And in Spanish influenza, the person literally will drown in their own body fluid. The lungs will fill up with immune system antibodies. It's trying to solve the problem. They're trying to kill the virus, but it ends up killing the host. The immune system, in effect, causes the person's demise, cytokine storm. He said he believes that because he was taking microdaily, he believed he did not go into cytokine storm and have to go on a ventilator and have his lungs pumped with fluid. That makes sense? So now, is that the case? Well, Dr. Prasad commented on how how microdaily does in fact balance out the immune system. Now, he didn't want to talk too much about it, but I believe that one of the strongest arguments for taking a good look at microdaily is a published paper. A paper published by, guess who of all people? Yeah. If you guessed Dr. Kedar Prasad, then you guessed right. Floating meeting controls. Okay, hide that. Then you guessed right if you were saying Dr. Kedar Prasad, because Dr. Prasad wrote this paper called Supplementation with a Mixture of Micronutrients May Improve Ability of the Immune System to Fight COVID-19 Infection. Now, I'm going to challenge you all right now to see who's the first person that can unmute themselves and tell me when this paper was published. This is an official scientific medical document. Can someone, first person, just unmute and say it? When was this paper published?
August 7th, 2020.
There we go. Your name, please.
Carolyn Benjamin.
All right, Carolyn Benjamin. So Carolyn Benjamin wins the prize. The prize is a gold star. Thank you very much, Carolyn Benjamin. Now, what's the significance of the fact that this paper was published on August the 7th, 2020? Does anyone know? What's the significance of that? Why am I pointing this out? Why is that a big deal that it was published on August the 7th, 2020? Anybody? Just unmute yourself and say it, because I can't see any hands right now.
In the midst of COVID.
Not only was it in the midst of COVID,
It was before a vaccine.
Bingo! Was that Carolyn Benjamin again?
Yes.
You get 2 gold stars. So this brilliant man wrote this paper before any vaccine came out. Now, if you were to look at this paper really, really carefully, and we didn't do this with Dr. Prasad at the time, mainly just because of time. But if you look at this paper, I thought this was the marked up version of it. I don't know why this one looks to be so clean. It's like everything was erased from it. So something happened to this. But it was pretty well marked up with a lot of stuff. But anyway, if you read through this paper, what you would find is Dr. Prasad goes over exactly how the COVID-19 virus is structured, spells it out in detail, all the different components of it. And I think most of you remember that there's one part of it that's talked about a lot. It's called the S1 spike protein. Familiar with that? Yeah, most people are. And this is one of the things that is causing a lot of problems, is that S1 spike protein is what causes a lot of problems. But one of the things that Dr. Prasad said was that N-acetylcysteine, alpha-lipoic acid, and glutathione all bind, to the spike protein. N-acetylcysteine, alpha-lipoic acid, and glutathione. Guess what are some of the primary components of microdaily? Any guesses? Unmute. Yeah, all three of those.
These same things, yes.
Yeah, all three of those exact same things are primary components of microdaily. And N-acetylcysteine, and this is not just conjecture, by the way. There are published clinical studies, not by Engage Global, not by Dr. Prasad, but by scientists and researchers that indicate that N-acetylcysteine, glutathione, alpha-lipoic acid, and other things bind to the S1 spike protein. So, but once again, keep in mind something here. This was in August 07, 2020, when Dr. Prasad spelled out about 6 different ways that micronutrients disrupts what the COVID-19 virus was trying to do. That's all. It's just a published paper. And here's the entire paper right here. And you can get back with whoever invited you to this discussion, and they can send you a copy of it if you'd like to read over it. A lot of it is pretty sciencey. So it's a little bit of a challenge to read, but I'm going to just point your attention to one portion of it for the benefit of those who may be here, say, for the first time. This is in the conclusion. I don't know if you saw that, but I'm going to scroll back up just a little bit. This is in the conclusion, the concluding paragraph, okay? So Dr. Prasad's conclusion of the matter, okay? He says here, increased oxidative stress and inflammation contribute to impaired immune function, and individual micronutrients improves immune function somewhat in experimental models, okay? That's what Dr. Prasad says. But then he goes on to say, see if I can make a little adjustment here. He goes on to say that because of limitations of the effectiveness of a single micronutrient in human, he's proposing this hypothesis that a mixture of micronutrients may be more effective than a single micronutrient, improving the function by reducing oxidative stress and inflammation. And did you notice what he says after that? Can anybody see that? Reducing oxidative stress and inflammation, and thereby eliminating COVID-19 infection. Do you see that? That's what his paper said. And again, this is just a hypothesis, is what he said, eliminating COVID-19 infection. But the last thing he said was that this mixture of micronutrients may also reduce risk of developing adverse health effects among survivors of COVID-19 infection. Now, what do they call a survivor of COVID-19 infection? Many of these, well, the long-term adverse health effects. So what is a survivor of COVID-19 infection who has adverse health effects? What is that called? Anybody know? What do they call that when a person is a survivor of COVID-19, but they have long-term adverse health effects. Anybody?
Long haulers.
Yes,
Long
sir.
haulers.
That's right, long haulers, right? Long haulers or long COVID. So this man wrote a paper identifying how micronutrients could have an impact, not just in the current situation that everybody was dealing with at the time, but also the long-term effects of it. So was there any truth to that? Did that actually really manifest itself? So I would say yes. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to say yes, but I'm going to just hold here 1 second. And let's just see if we can't find one of those testimonials that was related this past Sunday that spoke to that effect. Okay. So it might be a little bit of a challenge to find it. So you guys got to bear with me 1 second here. Date modified. Let's go to current date. Okay, here we go. Screen sharing is paused. I know screen sharing is paused. Let's do a new share.
Okay.
Right
Thank you,
to
John.
this media
For
player.
those of you that do not know me,
And I'm going to turn my camera off to make sure we don't have any bandwidth issues. If you guys can't hear me, let me know. But let's see if we can't move forward in the recording. So there we talked about long COVID during the discussion. This was one interesting story right here. I'm going to try to come back to her. But let's see if we can't. It must have been right in. Let's see if it was in this area right here. There we go.
No, I didn't have a question. I wanted to.
I've sprayed my house with Lysol. I said it hadn't been said,
There
but
we
I
go.
knew it was something. So
We want Delores.
was bad as well. I
Oh,
couldn't.
wow.
Third,
Dr. Prasad and Jonathan. Well, you know, Jonathan, I caught COVID early on. As a matter of fact, when I contracted it, it wasn't even being called COVID at the time. Everybody was being told here in Southwest Georgia that it had upper respiratory infection.
Okay, so now to set this up properly, this was in late 2019, early 2020. Again, the significance of that is that there was no vaccine at the time, okay? So that's why I want to just point this out. This is Delores Levatt, who shared her story this past Sunday and her experience with COVID, okay?
And so, but I caught COVID.
So you got yours, you're talking about 2019, 2020?
Right, as when it first started out.
Okay, go ahead then. So you had the Alpha variant. So you got the original Wuhan variant. Go ahead.
Right. So I mean, I went to the hospital to visit someone. I walked in the room. I didn't even go to her bed. I walked out, and before I got home, I started to feel terrible.
Oh wow.
So I got home, and I've been taking micronutrients for a long time.
But just the preventive doses before
Right.
that.
Right. And so I didn't have to go to I didn't go to the hospital, I didn't go to the doctor, but I knew I had COVID because both of us, my husband and I both got sick, chills, fever, weakness, couldn't hardly, get out of the bed.
Tell us your age and your husband.
At that time, we were 75 and 80, 82, I believe.
So you're both high risk. Any comorbidities?
No, I don't have any health issues, but my husband had high blood pressure and not diabetes, but heart issues. But we didn't have to go to the doctor.
Okay, so he had comorbidities, but both of you up in age. He's
Right.
older than you, and you both came down with the Wuhan strain of the COVID. Go ahead, please finish telling us your story.
So what happened, once I realized something was happening, I didn't know it was COVID because, like I said, it hadn't been said, but I knew it was something. So I increased At that time, we only had the original and the hydro. We didn't have EMF at that time. So what I did, we took almost a whole box of the hydro within a few days.
I bet you did.
We did, yes. We took so many hydros per day, and that's what helped us. I know I had COVID because I woke up one morning, I could not taste and I could not smell, and so then we had heard that was one of the symptoms when you lose your taste and your smell, and I had lost mine. But taking microdaily really protected us because we didn't have to go to the doctor, we didn't take anything but microdaily. Microdaily, a lot of hot liquids, and got rest, and just that's what helped us through.
Wow, Dr. Prasad, your formula saved 2 senior lives.
Yeah.
At the very beginning. I mean, that's my opinion. My opinion is your formula saved 2 senior lives.
Yes. Saving my life.
Okay, so there's one example, one currently living example of an individual who early on feels as though they benefited from. Now, obviously, again, testimonials are anecdotal. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. So we don't know all the circumstances surrounding what caused the person's situation to change and go otherwise. Okay, so we can't say that 100%. But that was an interesting story that was shared there. Now, another positive benefit that came was another story that was shared. Let's see if we can't find that real quick here before we wrap up. Hold on one second. Let's go back to that. I think it was maybe just before Delores shared her story. So let's go backwards a little.
Was bad as well. I failed. I didn't do well with the first 2 pulmonary function tests that I had taken.
Okay, that was one that was a nurse. Here's the one that had all kinds of, my opinion is your formula.
Had COVID just on the last week. I was diagnosed initially as sinus and upper respiratory, but I got worse with the coughing.
Okay, hold on.
So therefore, I went back on last Friday week. Yes, sir.
We'll take questions. Okay. Well, one last one here. Cynthia. Thank you, Delores.
You're welcome.
And then we'll take questions after Cynthia. Cynthia, are you sharing a story with us about COVID?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Prasad and Jonathan. I recently had COVID just on the last week. I was diagnosed initially as sinus and upper respiratory, but I got worse with the coughing. So therefore, I went back on last Friday, and they diagnosed me with COVID and positive for strep throat. They gave me a shot. I went home, and that was my first time ever catching COVID. I'm very careful. I have all my shots. I have all my boosters. I wear my mask still everywhere I go, and I've sprayed my house with Lysol, sprayed my car with Lysol, even when people are in my car. So I was just really kind of surprised that I did. I have been taking microdaily since the end of July. And when I got sick and I took the medication that they told me to take, I just waited like 2 hours before I would take the microdaily. I made sure I still took my microdaily, and I did double up on it, the microdaily EMF, and also the probiotics. I was taking that also. I went back Friday. I'm negative now, but they said I had a little light case of possibly pneumonia, so they gave me 2 other medications to take. But I feel fine. I'm doing very well. I'm still staying home, and I know that the supplements helped me to not have any problems. I ate every day, 3 meals a day. Wow. I didn't have any problems with taste or anything. I only had a low-grade fever that first week, and after that, I didn't have any. I didn't have any really body pains. It was just my chest and my throat hurting from the coughing. So I do thank you, Dr. Prasad, and I am still trying to get my family to understand and believe that the micronutrients are important and we need them.
Thank you.
Wow. All right, so that was a very interesting example right there, because remember during the discussion on Sunday, with this story that came out here, this woman said she had all her shots, so that means she was double vaccinated and triple or quadruple boosted, and she'd been taking microdaily since July. So what happened? No wild guesses, huh? Okay, you don't have to make any wild guesses. What happens is the immune system is still trying to figure out what to do. And there are some scientists now who have, there's a variety of opinions out there as to what's going on inside the body with the S1 spike protein in the system. They're trying to figure that out because they've actually started finding out that there's S1 spike protein in the blood system. It's in the bloodstream, places that it wasn't and was never supposed to go. So the immune system, of course, is working, trying to make sure that the host remains alive and well. Probably the one thing, in my opinion, that really did her well was the fact that she was, along with her conventional treatment, she included micronutrients. Because remember, micronutrients, microdaily, is not a drug. It's not a treatment or cure for COVID or anything else. It's the food that's missing from our food. So she included this food product in her diet, and it made sure that her immune system was nice and robust. So instead of the immune system running out of bullets, it was able to keep up. And then when she got into the worst of the infection, did you hear what she said? She doubled it up. So when she doubled it up, now she had massive amounts of antioxidants floating around in her body. And remember what those antioxidants are doing, according to Dr. Prasad's paper? Binding to the S1 spike protein. And if it's binding to the S1 spike protein, when you bind something, that means you're in control of it, just like putting handcuffs on a criminal. When you put handcuffs on that criminal, you can now put them anywhere you want. You can guide them along. And that's what happens when the immune system binds to something. It's in control, and it can now pass it out of the body as waste, or at the very least, neutralize it and interrupt what it's trying to do inside the body. So those testimonials were kind of amazing. The one that I didn't share, I probably should share, was a woman who came down with COVID. It was that first one. I should have shared that one. But she came down with COVID, and she had brain fog. And those are the classic symptoms of what COVID does, because the virus itself, SARS-CoV-2, is able to try to work its way everywhere. And in many cases, it can contribute to or cause brain fog. Part of the reason why it does that is by reducing the amount of oxygen going to the brain. And it's even trying to cause clotting, all kinds of things that this virus is starting to do. But in her story, she says that she added micronutrients to her diet, and all of her mental clarity came back. And she said she was a nurse. So I asked her, well, which vaccine did she get? And she said she'd never been vaccinated. So that was really interesting. So you had early on, Delores and her husband, before the vaccine, they benefited from it. Then this woman, I can't remember her name, who had not been vaccinated, she was definitely experiencing symptoms of long haul COVID. She benefited from it. And then we had this other woman here who was boosted up the wazoo, who also benefited from it. So we had a full variety of individuals from every particular spectrum, and probably samples of half a dozen, or at least 3 different time frames of COVID infection, if you follow. So you got someone from the original Wuhan strain, and then someone just recently in one of the latest Omicron strains, and somewhat earlier in the year who had one of the earliest forms of the Omicron. Or maybe even, no, it wasn't the Delta. Delta was long gone by this past summer. So the bottom line is, Focus on your immune system. And it's amazing what happens if you have micronutrients in your body. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Is having these micronutrients in your body is critically important. There's about 5 different things in addition to microdaily, about 5 different things that if you're looking to reduce the amount of S1 spike protein in your system, there's 5 different things that you can do. You can direct message me, and I'll be happy to send you some suggestions on how to do that to lower the amount of S1 spike protein in your bloodstream. All right. But the first thing I recommend for everybody is to make sure that you do at least double, in my opinion, the normal dose of microdaily. I take usually 3 times every day. Right now, I'm taking 3 times the recommended dosage. I'm not sticking with the minimum. I have never come down with COVID. I had symptoms once or twice where I got a sore throat that I thought maybe I was infected, but my blood test almost a year ago said that I don't have any antibodies, no COVID antibodies in my system. So I've never come down with it. So it's never made its way in so that my immune system created antibodies for it. That's detected by the blood test that they're doing currently. So I've been doing pretty good, but here lately, because of concern and no one wear a mask anymore, then that's what's made me triple up my dose. So I fluctuate between the original. So I have the original green bottle, and I do the EMF and the gummies. So that's the way that I do triple the normal doses. And sometimes I add an extra dose in the day. So sometimes I go 3x plus, but right now my baseline is 3x, and that's what I have Joanna doing also, 3x. Okay, so we got a few minutes left, so we could take a few of your questions. So if anyone has a question or would like to share a comment, this is your chance. Raise your hand.
Hi, everyone.
Fulvia has a comment. Go ahead, Fulvia. You're a long hauler.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Since December 17th of 2020. I thought I just had the flu. 3 days later, my son says, "Oh no, I'm taking you to the doctor now." Because I couldn't move, I couldn't do nothing. I was so weak. High temperature, all that. So I went, and of course they said, "You have COVID." 20 minutes later, ambulance picked me up, took me to the hospital. I was hospitalized for 3 months and 2 months in rehab. I had to learn, because I've been laid up so long. I was on the ventilator as well. I had to learn to walk and to do things by myself, because my kids would have to assist me getting in and out of the bed, in and out of the shower. I couldn't even stand up to not even make myself a cup of tea or anything like that. I found out about micronutrients last July.
So Fulvia, you said you were infected in December of 2020.
Yes.
So once again, that's just before the vaccines came out. And since then, you've had no vaccines and no boosters.
No.
Okay, but you just discovered the micronutrients, you said, in July?
Late June, actually, of 2022.
So you literally survived the worst of COVID.
Yes.
Wow.
5 months away. And since I started the micronutrients, so much improvement. I'm still on oxygen 24/7, but I can get out of the bed. I can do things for myself. I don't know if it's because I was laid up, but my body racked in pain from the back of my neck, my shoulders, my hips, my right knee, neuropathy in both my feet. They told me, my orthopedic said, my right knee, it was rubbing bone and bone. They would have to do a full knee replacement. Well, after micronutrients, because I didn't want no surgery. So I did try the shots. I did have therapy and all that fun stuff. But after micronutrients, this knee don't even bother me no more. It don't swell up no more, none of that. And the hips don't bother me. The shoulders don't bother me because I couldn't even lean on them. So I had to stay on my back the whole time if I try to rest, and sleepless nights. I had constipation, hemorrhoids, you name it, I had it. And since micronutrients, all of that is gone.
Wow.
Except the oxygen. I'm still on that.
How much micro daily are you taking, Fulvia?
I take 5 3 times a day.
Of the EMF?
EMF, yes.
Very
and
good.
I have the rest of Prasad, Dr. Prasad's choice bundle.
The Dr. Prasad choice bundle?
Yes.
Okay.
My brain fog was also something that was bad. So I have been doubling up on the brain boost also. I take 2 in the morning and 2 in the evenings.
Okay, I understand that one. I've gone through COVID, but you talking my dose right there on that brain boost. What about the collagen? Are you taking that?
Yes, I do. I take everything else.
1 scoop twice a day?
No, just once a day.
You might want to go to twice a day. That will help with the joint issues. And you got to give your body something to work with as your body's trying to rebuild your lungs also. So all of that will help. So there may be a couple more things that you can do. So who's your sponsor?
Miss Betty Grimes.
Betty Grimes. Betty Grimes.
Yes.
Okay. Then I asked Betty to put you in contact with me. There's a couple more things that you can do that will also help your lungs. I just had another gentleman, friend of mine, who was in a similar situation. He's been able to reduce the amount of oxygen that he's on now by adding a couple more things to his regimen. Okay.
Well, that I have done. I have been able to reduce. I'm down to 1 unit all day. I was
good.
up to it was like 17. And so it's gradually come down, and I'm down to 1 unit all day.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. And the other good thing, if I'm sitting down, not moving, no kind of exertion, not even with my arms, I can take it off for a little while. So, and I wasn't able to do that before. 2 seconds, it was like, oh no, I can't breathe. But I can breathe.
That is excellent. That is excellent. Well, you keep it up. One of the things that Dr. Prasad's formula is really good with is the lungs. So you could even try increasing it 1 more capsule for each dose, and that may also help your lungs even better. Okay.
Of the EMF?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And 1 more scoop of the collagen.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No,
I appreciate you allowing me to come forth and share my testimony.
We need to hear your story. There's a lot of folks that are going to benefit from your story. So thank you very much for sharing it. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Wonderful. So that one I didn't even know was coming, folks. So that's a pretty powerful one, and it fits right in with exactly what we were just discussing. Horace, you have a comment or a question?
Yeah, no, I have a comment. I was in the volunteer work about 3 weeks ago, and I had to get in contact with one of the householders. The person came to the door, and we were talking for a few minutes. And when I started to walk away, we were kind of close, we were about that close. And he was breathing in my face. And when I walked away, I started to feel funny. I said, oh no, I believe I might be catching something. So it didn't bother me. I finished what we were doing. I came home about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I started to feel miserable. Man, my throat got tight and my head started to hurt a little bit. I said, I think I'm catching COVID. I said, as much as I've tried to protect myself, I've had all my booster shots, everything, wear the mask, and here I am about to catch COVID. Man, I came home. I didn't just double up on everything. I tripled up on everything.
I bet you did.
I took about 9 EMFs. I took 1 full scoop of collagen. I took 2 brain boosts, 2 eye boosts, and 2 probiotics. The next day I woke up, I felt great. I had no after effect or anything. So I felt really great. So I feel like those products protected me. Even if I did get it, it wiped it out.
Wow. Wow. There we go again. Didn't know that one was coming. And but that fit right in with our subject matter. So thank you very much, Horace. Is another example of using these amazing products in a very positive way. Okay, Corlia Green.
Yes. Hello, Jonathan.
Hi.
I'm still working on my everything. I'm getting better, but I just don't take enough of it. So I make about what about my equilibrium? I just keep looking at my phone all the time.
Yep. Yep.
I'm on my phone. I have to walk real slow. You know, I don't use no crutcher or walk or anything. I'm 91, like my friend, Virginia, Mother Virginia.
Yep.
You know, yeah, but I need to know because I'm doing better. I'm taking the choice, and I just ordered some CBD yesterday. So not today. So it should be coming about a week, I guess.
Excellent.
I need my equilibrium. What is wrong with that? It's like I will fall.
Yeah, that's it sounds a little bit like vertigo, and so that's kind of an inner ear issue, possibly. There could be all kinds of reasons for it. How much of the microdaily are you taking?
I take 4 twice a day.
4 of the microdaily EMF?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's very good. That's very good. You can feel free, if you can afford it, to add more. You know, so you can go to 6 twice a day. I'm taking that many, and I got 30 years of life less than you, and I'm taking 6 twice a day right now. So, and that keeps me breaking even. So I would suggest you at least go to that much. And if you can do it a 3rd time, it would be really helpful to you. Okay.
I certainly will, Jonathan. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all so much. I'm on lunch and learn every day. I try to listen. I can keep it every day. It helps me a lot.
That's good.
It helps me too. So I'm glad to talk to you, Jonathan. You've been so precious. I enjoy everybody. I love my micro family.
It's quite a family, isn't it?
It's a family. I am 91. I've been in the product field for about 50 years, and it just nothing like it. I've been in every business in the world. That's my granddaughter when I let me work. That's the problem I'm having now. She won't let me work the business. I said, well, if I just could get somebody to help me, get my sponsor, Mary Golson, she stays so busy. She doesn't have too much time to help me. But I'm working. Pray for me. I'm working on it. I hope one day I'll be able to put an order and come every month. You know, like every month. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah, subscription. Well, we need to help you with that. So I'm gonna try to make contact with you and Mary and see if we can't help you to get yourself a subscription going. Okay.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. God bless you all.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate
Yes,
you and so happy that you're here. You're inspiring to us. Okay, Corlia, you and
thank you so much.
And Virginia, you guys have no idea. You're very inspiring to us. Thank you.
Praise God. Amen. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Phil. I hear you again Thursday. You again Thursday?
Yes, we'll be here Thursday also.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan. God bless you.
All right. Bye-bye. And Kenny Ray has a question or a comment.
Hey, Jonathan, how you doing?
All right. How are you, sir?
Fine. I'm just blessed by the best. Hey, listen, Jonathan, tomorrow I'm going to visit a friend of mine who is on dialysis. What type of recommendation would you think Dr. Prasad would have for him?
Whatever he can afford. And the harder he hits microdaily and probiotics, the quicker he can expect that his body is going to rebuild like it's supposed to. So that's all we can say.
So the preferred package, or just doubling and tripling up on the EMF? And
I would highly recommend focusing initially on EMF, maybe even go with the original, just have the least number of ingredients for the time being. So just to really be able to maximize the amount that he can take. if he can afford taking 6 of the EMF 3 times, 6 EMF 3 times a day, that's great. But otherwise, it's cheaper for him to take 6, which is now a maximum dose of the original 3 times a day. So he could go with that and just try to reverse his situation, get his situation corrected. Okay?
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. And get that probiotic in there. Maybe 1 probiotic, 2 probiotic twice a day. So I would concentrate on that if possible. And it's okay to blend it too. You can buy like 2 bottles of original and 1 bottle of EMF and make 1 part of that dose to be EMF. That's okay also, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And my good friend James here, you have a question or comment that you want to add to this?
I've been taking a third scoop of the collagen, and I wonder if I take a full scoop, would that be like equal to taking 2 scoops?
Right now, the way that it's set up, the 2/3 of a scoop is the dosage Dr. Prasad recommends. 2/3 of a scoop, not 1/3, 2/3 of a scoop. Okay, now, personally, I'm like somebody else that was on here a minute ago that said that they take a full scoop. I'm sorry, James, I'm taking 1 full scoop twice a day. So I'm going a little overboard with it, because once Dr. Prasad said there's no toxicity and it won't hurt, I take it because I feel like I'm bleeding out collagen, and the enzyme is helping definitely, but there's no question about what those peptides are doing as far as it's helping. So, but I think in about 6 months or so, then I'll start reducing it down to what he suggests, because there's a new formula. We'll be talking about that in about 3 weeks, the new formula with Dave Nemelka, as a matter of fact. So on Sunday, the April the 16th, you want to get everybody here. I'll be talking with Dave Nemelka, the owner and CEO of Engage Global.
Thank you.
Nope, thank you. But increase it. If you can afford it, you increase that dose and go ahead on and get yourself a full scoop of that, or at least 2/3 of a scoop, okay? Okay. Very good. So there you have it, folks. We've gone a few minutes over time, but we wanted to get all those comments and questions in. And the goal here was to try to bring some clarity to this matter of COVID, so we could see it a little bit better. Nobody is making a claim that Engage Global or any of these products are a treatment or cure for any disease state. So please don't go away from here thinking that. However, as you can see, there's hard research. Dr. Prasad wrote a published paper on the benefits of micronutrients and its impact on the body when it comes to not just a COVID-19 virus, but any virus. That's the beautiful part about it. Microdata in your immune system was not dependent upon a variant. Whereas, as you know, depending on what vaccine a person took, the vaccine was specifically targeted toward particular variants of the virus, because sometimes it had little to no effect on the earlier variants of SARS-CoV-2. So, but your immune system, it doesn't care what it is. It sees it as a virus and it makes antibodies for it much quicker than any company could make antibodies for anything that's not supposed to be inside our body. Okay, so for the record, my name is Jonathan Jones. It's been my pleasure and privilege to be your host and moderator for the evening. The information that has been shared with you is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Please don't do anything I say because I say it. I strongly recommend that you seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust. I am not a doctor. Seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust. We encourage you to do your own research, but what we share with you has been carefully researched. By the way, I'm the research director for the Healthcare Support Association of America. It's a private nonprofit 501c3 organization based out of Florida. And our goal is to pass on information and education to individuals just like you about information and options that you have to feel better and to take control of your health. Take your life back. So that's it. So you guys have a good night. We'll see you on Thursday evening. So remember, I'm here again on Thursday night we don't stop. We will not quit. We're going to make sure that we're sharing as much as we can with anybody who would like to have any of the information that we have. We're going to be back here again. So invite anybody that you. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Jonathan. Great call.
Thank you.
Everyone have a blessed.
D. James.
Guys.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Love my
take care.
Share the link with anybody that you know that needs to hear this call. Share the link. Just go to my YouTube channel, youtubejonathan.com. You can share the link with anybody that you want.
Good. Take care.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks for the link you sent me, Jonathan. Thank you.
Very good.
I watched it. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yes.